my favorite Knicks of all time, top 5 Knicks. I've mentioned this before, and I mentioned it on in hour number 1 of Friday's program. That number 1 on my list is Bernard King.
Yep.
2 is Patrick Ewing. 3 is Walt Clyde Frazier. Even though I never really saw him play, I just
the legend.
I know the legend. I know what he did, and I just love him as the ambassador of the New York Knicks, calling Knicks games, switching and dishing, all that stuff.
Outfits.
And the reason why I mentioned those 3 names on the show is because Jalen Brunson, in a 32-point performance in Game 5, backs against the wall, have to beat the Pacers to continue on with the hopes of reaching the NBA Finals and taking the series back to Indianapolis in Game 6 to survive and advance to that game. He had a 32-point night and was the first and one of 4 Knicks now to have a 30-point game on at least 65% or better shooting in an elimination game. The other 3 Knicks who did it were the 3 above him on my list. Mm-hmm. And Brunson also, I love him so much. I love watching what he plays, how he plays, what he stands for, that he brought me back in. I left the Knicks on the side of the road because my 5th most favorite Knick, Charles Oakley, got dragged out of Madison Square Garden by Madison Square Garden security one night because he has the temerity, or had the temerity, of speaking up about how piss poor the Knicks were for quite some time. And didn't get along with James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, who sat there from his seat and watched his security take him out of a seat that he paid for at Madison Square Garden, a ticket that he got, and dragged him out. Didn't do anything about it, and he was in jail. He was actually put behind bars, and it pissed me off. And Brunson has brought me back in. And the reason why I mention all this is Charles Oakley was on the Jim Jackson show this week. Jim got Charles on to talk about the current state of affairs of the New York Knicks and also to relive that moment. And I know a lot of Knicks fans kind of don't want to relive this moment right now because it's all, bright sunshine, and Brunson is doing all these things, and Dolan is handing out basketballs to fans, and fans are happy. But this is clanking around what Charles told Jim on how he feels about the current situation and what happened and what still lingers with him.
Well, to be with the family got to love. And I start with the mom, pops. And I think the love is not there of what happened. Couldn't have been love. And, I think that when you get owners like that one in New York, it need to be addressed. Everybody should be paying attention because he's not playing fair. Even though all them guys going back, I really can't blame all them guys because I didn't really play with all of them. Right. But the ones I played with who got some power, I thought would be Patrick, but he didn't step up. So I'll hold him more responsible than anybody else because he's supposed to be our franchise player. I played with him for 10 years. At least, if I'm your road dog, I'm you A, I'm the B, you got to speak up for me. He haven't spoke up yet, so I'm going to let it just play out. I would love to be there. I know the fans would love me to be there. I love the fans. They gave me a lot of cheer over the years, and I wish I could be there. But it all started from the commission, the owner, and all the other owners of the NBA because he's making it bad for all the teams in the league. But something like this be going on for 8 years. So disrespectful. They said, I'm going to tell you one thing, Jim. You always tell players to be accountable. Let the owners be accountable. We just met with them 6 weeks ago.
With the Knicks?
Yeah, and tried to make a deal with them. And they told us no.
So the whole way, you met with the ownership?
Well, we tried to solve the case.
Okay.
And they trying to come out last week like I'm the bad guy. And they trying to say, well, he dropped the case, he can come back in. No, we tried to solve this 5 or 6 weeks before the playoff even started. Because I ain't want to be no distraction to the team.
Exactly.
But it's been a distraction itself by bringing up if I drop a case and you the holdup. So it's bad for the whole thing. He's trying to make me look bad, but he always making it. But the thing is, he like his name in the press.
Mm-hmm.
Your team is down 0-2. You want to bring up tell them what's going on with the case. You want to talk about it.
Wow. Wow.
Can we put this thing to bed?
Right.
It takes two sides.
Everybody's
to come to
back.
an agreement,
You
though.
see that on the, you see that every game. They're all there.
Yeah, there's so many former players.
And he should be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he had Ewing's back. He was Ewing's enforcer. He was the guy down below. Him and Anthony Mason, may he rest in peace. But, because Ewing was the king of the fadeaway jumper. Obviously he would drive to the basket. Obviously he had a game down low. Obviously he would definitely post up. But he was the king of just fading away. So when he's fading away at 7 feet, you need to have somebody underneath. And
That was Oak.
And that's one of the things I loved about him. He was the enforcer. He was the guy who came from Jordan, came from Jordan's world, came from the Chicago Bulls, and came to New York. And it killed me to watch Bill Cartwright go to Chicago in the championships because Bill came from the Knicks. And, obviously Bill was a guy who would fade away quite a bit too. And that was so Patrick and Bill were not going to coexist. They needed to have Oakley. They made the right move to get him. And he was the heart and soul of putting people on their asses. And he was the guy that every single time when the Knicks played, you knew he was not going to get intimidated by Michael Jordan.
By anybody.
I understand that by anybody, but there was one somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, remember Oak was in Chicago at the beginning.
That's what
of
I'm
Mike's
saying.
career.
He came from Jordan.
Yeah.
From there. And Cartwright went there and was part of the championships of the first 3 there. Yeah. And at any rate, it's tough to, comment from afar because we don't know everything. We don't know what was said. Charles is saying he went to ownership and said, let's just bury the hatchet, and said he was rebuffed. It's like, why? Why can't we just bury it? I mean, certainly use the current run that the Knicks are on with their entire cast being back there pretty much. You see Sprewell, you see Allen Houston.
You see everybody.
Starks,
LG,
Grandmama.
Chris Dudley in the building,
Marv. Even Marv, who, as you know, wound up calling Nets games for a long time because he had a falling out with Dolan. Even Marv's back in the building. I mean, you saw Jim shaking his head there. I mean, that's the way I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
It just infuriates, but it's tough to focus on that right now because the fuzzies are warm right now.
Yeah.
The fuzzies are real warm right now. But when you see like Dolan handing out basketballs to fans from the back seat of his car, you know what I mean? Like he's sitting in the back seat, he's being driven. And here you go, fans, like, Jim, get out of the car and shake a friggin' hand, man. Pound it out if you don't want a handshake. Fist bump it, man. But it's all, I don't know.
Have they been showing him on the broadcaster in games and I'm just missing it? Like,
No, he's there.
I know he's there,
I'm
but
not
what is he
remembering
doing?
any-
What is his
Yeah.
demeanor during these games? Is he just sitting there?
I don't know.
Cross-arm,
They
cross-legged?
don't show
like
him a lot
normal?
on the broadcast.
They don't, right? I'm not missing that?
No, I mean, why are you showing James Dolan when you've got all of the celebrities
Yeah.
that, I mean, there's some serious eye candy that's at the Knicks games right now.
Listen, we can't take away from Chalamet's TV time to show
Nice.
Dolan.
No, that's
come
true.
on.
But usually the owner is front and center during a run like this.
Yeah, Spike Lee, he's right there.
Nice. Well, he's back. He's had his run-ins.
Yeah.
Remember that? They told him he had to go in a different entrance and he was losing
right.
his mind?
Right.
Rightfully so.
Right.
You know? Come on. Let's just bury it. Like this guy should be in the building. And, there's bigger fish to fry right now. There's a game 6 and there's hopefully a game 7 and then maybe hopefully the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I know nobody wants to talk about it right now for Knicks fans. But if everybody's coming back together, well, let's figure this piece out, man. The whole Jim Jackson show is available for you to download right now where you get your podcasts, and all of it is on our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, where you're most likely seeing this video. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.